Hey guys, so we're back here in the tool set, and again, as we discussed in the previous video, that we don't necessarily want this big flame to appear on this brazier. Maybe a small flame positioned in the right location would look much better when we cross this trigger. Now, the first problem with this is we're obviously using the wrong visual effect. The visual effect that we chose, that VFX DUR fire, that by nature is just going to cover whatever placeable we put in it. So we're going to have to use a different effect for that. One that comes to mind, a good special effect, may be the fireplace special effect. That's a much smaller fire that you can position pretty much wherever you want. Now, it's not a very tall special effect, so the first problem we have with changing this visual effect over to that one is if we apply it directly to our brazier here, we're not going to see it. And the reason is because the bottom of the brazier is really low here on the ground, and whenever we apply a special effect to it, it starts at the same level that our placeable object is, which means if we apply our campfire or our fireplace special effect to this brazier, what's going to happen is it's going to apply and it'll be right underneath it, but it just won't be tall enough to come out of the top of the brazier. It'll just be too small to be able to simulate that. So what we really want is to be able to have that fireplace effect, but have it up on top of the brazier, just like kind of right here, and have it flame from there. That would be ideal. So that's what we really want to accomplish. Now, how do we do that? Well, what we're going to do is we're not going to apply our special effect to this brazier. We're going to apply it to something else. And how we do that is over here in our blueprints. I'm just going to drag that over here. Under Placeables, Legends Quest, Special Effects, there is another special effects object that we can use, and it's called the SE Object Helper. And what it looks like is it looks kind of like a waypoint. This is it right here. And it looks a lot like a waypoint, only it's a little bit different. Now, this special object, the way it behaves is that we can see it and manipulate it in the tool set. However, it is invisible in the game. So when we log into the game, you won't actually see this thing, and that's exactly what we're really looking for. So what we can do is we can actually position it where we want our fireplace flame to go. So we're going to put it, kind of right here like that. So when we apply our fireplace effect, we're going to apply it to this thing rather than our brazier, and it'll be positioned correctly. So we're just going to put that back. And of course, we're going to have to tell the special effects plugin where we want to apply it. And in order to do that, we're going to have to change its tag. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and just change the tag of this thing to brazier1_helper. That'll be its tag. Again, you can make it whatever you want. I find it this way is kind of easy. So this the tag of this thing is going to be brazier1_helper. So that's what we'll have to remember. Now, all we have to do is actually go in to our special effects waypoint here and change its configuration. That's all we have to do. So we're going to select it. We're going to load up the special effects plugin. Go to File, Special Effects, and you can see here we currently have a visual effect for flag 1, and its target is the brazier. We're going to double click on it to edit it, and we're going to change the tag of where we're applying this visual effect to brazier1helper, like so. So that means now our visual effect is going to appear there instead. And if we don't want this big giant fire, we want a different one, and that's going to be what one do we want? I believe it's called fire. No, it's not called that at all. It's called, I may have to search for it because I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. And I'm just going to look it up here, so just bear with me for 1 sec. And I just looked it up, and it's called fxfireplace.cef. It's this one right here, fxfireplace.cef. So it's a smaller fire than the other one we had. But everything else stays the same. We still want it to perform when flag 1 is set. We still want it to be permanent, so we'll leave that at -1 like that, and just re-add it back into the list and hit finish. So that's how we're updating this, and we'll have a quick look at this in game and see how our change here looks. So we'll see you in game in a second. Okay, so we're back in game, and we've just made those changes. We're giving ourselves a few seconds for the special effects plugin to initialize itself, and then we're going to walk across. Now, as you remember, we had this big, huge flame on this brazier last time. However, this time we're going to cross it, and hopefully we should see something a little different. And there we go. We see a nice small flame from the fireplace effect, kind of just sitting right in that brazier there, just like we should expect to see it. Now, again, this can be a little bit of a trial and error. If you want your flame to be a little higher, you can move that special effects object helper up a little bit. If you want the flame to be a little higher, if you want them to be a little lower, you kind of move it down. So you can make some adjustments there by moving that thing around. But again, the concept is exactly the same. And the most important part of the entire special effects plugin that we really want you to take away from this video is the fact that we're setting flags in the area and having reactions occur based on those flags. Once you can wrap your head around that concept, then the special effects plugin becomes a lot easier to understand. And when we get into some really complicated and really interesting special effects, things will start to become a lot clearer when you can grasp that concept. So this was a very simple introductory how the special effects plugins work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to perform some very interesting special effects, multiple effects based on a trigger like this, and see what kinds of things we can do. So this is where it's about to get a little interesting. So stay tuned for the next video, and we'll see you back in the tool set for it.